today. Thanks, buddy.
Last I saw the agenda, it was me.
Check and see if Susan's on.
Yeah. I just laughed out loud when I looked at when the end date for your position was. It was like, I just started laughing.
Yeah, I was clearly way off.
Be ready, we're gonna go ahead and call the meeting to order. It is 4:01. We do have a quorum. Are there any public comments? Don't see any. So regular items for discussion, consideration, and or approval. Item 1, review and discuss Parks and Recreation's 5-year capital plan.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. It is our second capital project input session. This is the time of the year that we want to get all the input we can from our citizens, listen and get some feedback back and forth between staff and council, and talk about what's upcoming in our 5-year capital plan. And we can look out a little further if you want to, but I like to stay into these windows because year one is the one we're really focused on, but we also need to look out, be smart, and think and plan for those things ahead. Just to bring something to everyone's attention is we are really close, and Kelly will mention that in a few minutes, our parks manager, but we are close to updating the parks master plan, and also we're looking at the comprehensive master plan. So there's a lot of things unfolding and coming up very soon. Those will all take a lot of public input from our citizens, and we can take a lot of that information and roll it out there as in those later dates once we get all the information gathered. So tonight I'm going to go ahead this evening, turn it over to Kelly, let her start going through our 5-year capital plan. She's going to touch on a lot of things, talk about things we've accomplished this year, and then move on into what's going on, and then hopefully gather some feedback back and forth, hear some comments from any citizens that do show up for our public input. It's really important that our citizens show up to these types of things and show, what they'd like to see, but also they have more opportunity. This is not the night that we make final decisions. This is simply a time for a lot of input sessions, and then we'll have public hearing process that goes down the road in our public process with adoption of budget not until mid-September. So I'm gonna turn this over to Kelly.
Afternoon, Mayor and Council. Like she said, we're going into our 5-year capital plan for Parks and Recreation. We'll kind of go over as a recap of what we did for 2026, what was in the capital plan budget. Is that Pete? For that, this is the recap for 2026. Our big projects were the boating access grant, the walkways and paths, lighting at various parks, Little League field lights, girls softball field lights, the field lights at the sports complex, and building improvements for the sports complex, and that is the pavilion. This is our update for this year. The parks lighting, Latul Park, that is complete. We did from west side to east side. We put in 6 lights. They are hardwired because we couldn't do solar out there because of so many trees, and we were not cutting down trees. The sports field lighting, it's ongoing for both girls softball, Little League, and Joe Davis. Right now, our process is if they go out, we replace them. We've replaced a lot of the ballast, a lot of the lights, and we are going back with LED lights when we go to replace them to keep those costs down for the organizations. We're working on the sports complex pavilion roof. That's in process, and that's a project that's going through with Scotty and Public Works to get that done. The walking path, we did quote that. That is the walking path out at Latul Park. There is a grant coming up. I think it's about to open next week from LCRA, so we're going to apply for that grant, and it is a 90-10 matching grant. Boating access, we are going to move that to 2027. The phase 1 will be due February 2nd. There was just some things we needed to get all in a line as I was going through it, so we'll move that off. Demolition of Valiant Pool, we're going to discuss that in tonight's council meeting. For this year, again, we did move off. One of the things, we do have the Southern Pacific Rail That trail, we can apply for that grant in 2028, so that is why it's out there for that year. This year, like I said, we're moving the boating access grant to 27 and 28. We can apply in February. We should know something around March, April, May, so we can get the engineering done and we'll be able to work on getting the construction in 28. The next set of walkways and paths for Latoul Park. Park improvements, more lighting. We did Liberty and Latoul this year, so we're going to do some more of those parks. The field lights for a football, a multi-purpose field. The sports complex roof to finish that project out, and looking at the demolition of 16th Street Pool. Just to reiterate, I'm working currently on the RFP for the Parks and Recreation Open Space Master Plan. Hopefully that will go out in mid-July. We'll get it back pretty soon so we can start the input process in this budget year and finish it out next year. It's not a capital project, but I wanted to put it in there to make sure that this is what we'll be driving from next year on. I did talk to Texas Parks and Wildlife. They did like the fact that we are planning to have this adopted by May of 27, and so we can get it to them to approve it. Last one was approved in June of 2022. So they didn't like. We don't like the gap. The gap time for it. So they were real impressed that we were doing that, and that might just give us a few more points. This will give us, it's about 20 to 30 points that we get for having this master plan in place and showing that we're continuing updating every 5 to 10 years our master plan on it. So we will finish it out in next year's budget.
So in other words, you're not very competitive with a lot of the grants that are out there for Parks and Recreation unless you have these parks master plans in place. You have to have them to be competitive. Just to recap, this is the Southern Pacific Trail. Just kind of go again, we can apply for that grant in 2028. It is currently starting around Nichols Road. We do have an asphalt part and a concrete piece from Nichols to Cottonwood. So this will, we can take it all the way from Cottonwood out down to Hardeman Park and eventually out to the new Aquatic Center. Another section of it, which would be from Tiers 1, will be the area around the dog park to get that project for the North Downtown area done. For Latoul Park, that's just an overview of the map. We'll be working on the first part of this year. That will be the decomposed granite section. For next year, we'll be going to do the concrete pieces. We're going to work on doing something with that land bridge right now that is actually just falling apart as we go over it. A lot of times with the vehicles, pieces are coming off of it. So we're looking at maybe just make one big lake and putting a bridge over it or doing something with that for that, and then doing some more pathways to and from those pavilions and to eventually where the performance pavilion we're looking to go to. And some of the funding sources we can get are through LCRA and through Texas Parks and Wildlife. 28, looking at replacing the east side pavilion and taking into account that y'all want to have something more natural out there than what looks like a carport, which we have right now. And this is something that we did quote to use the existing concrete pad that's out there, and it's about $100,000 to do that project. But we push that out to 28.
So even with the existing concrete, it's $100,000.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And they are all windstorm certified. And that's kind of one of the biggest pieces of it. And since we are going with more natural products instead of going with steel, if we went with steel, it would be a little bit cheaper, but we're going to go with the wood and more of an open concept. And 29, we're looking at the Park Performance Pavilion.
Can I just ask a question? If we don't insure it, why do we care if it's windstorm
I
rated?
wanted to ask the same thing.
I mean, sure, design it
be?
to those standards, but who cares if you get a certification, which increases the cost? We don't insure much of anything.
I think a lot of the pavilions there now are windstorm certified that we're looking at anywhere.
But what's the point?
But
that
you
adds
have to
cost.
build it to that, though. It's required to
It's
build
required
it
to
to
It's
that.
required to
that
build
way,
it to
even if
that,
you don't
even
insure
if we
it.
don't insure it.
Because of the county we're in.
You don't have to have it certified, which is another $1,200, but that's what it is.
I mean, I could see that being like as a residential case in your backyard or something.
I'll
but
check on the pavilions with Crystal and make sure that's the case. But I know there's been a question come up a couple of times on the the windstorm need on these types of things. If we don't have to do it, we won't do it on these structures.
It'd be
We
great.
also
It just-
create a position where we can't defend ourselves when we're asking residents to comply with the permitting requirements that we're not.
Can we just maybe see a price comparison?
We can.
We can. Looking for the performance pavilion, since we do host quite a few events out there, that we can actually host more events, concerts, and do some other things that are out there. So that would be in 29
What's the size of the footprint on that pavilion?
for East Side or for the
For the
performance.
performance?
We're looking probably about a 30 by 30. Most bands are 24 by 24. 2030 is looking at East Side installing a playground over there. The Dreamscape, we were out there yesterday and it is covered with kids, and we're having to do some major maintenance on it, and we just kind of want to help alleviate that so it lasts a little bit longer, and by installing one on the east side and also make the east side a little bit more attractive to rent. Because right now, West Side and Lakeview are almost every weekend rented. East Side kind of stands empty. So that's why I kind of want to add something over there to encourage people to rent that side of the park. Going on to all the parks. The restrooms, we did start taking a hard look at the other restrooms in our facility, in our inventory, and taking a look at them. This is Amistad. This is last year's picture. It has gotten worse on the rest. We are looking at maybe some alternatives that we can do in the meantime. We did look into 28, 29, and 31 to replace the ones at Amistad. That 225 is turnkey. That includes installation, bringing the crane in, and getting the whole thing installed. And that is for just a put in place one. And the same thing for the one at City Field, which is where the bike park is right now, and Community Park. Community Park is where Joe Davis is. It looks probably the best, but it's still in kind of not great shape.
Just to add to that, when we were going over this prior, I was looking to see if there's any way, since the structures are so solid, if there's any companies that could come in and give us an idea on some of those braces to see if there's a way to rehab some of these really sturdy ones before replacing an entire new building, especially not knowing where we're going with some of the sporting things down the road. But I will look into that first. I'm trying to get some other opinions to see if some of them are just too far gone, or if there's a way to, where all that's rusted out. I'm not sure if there's a way to, repair some of those steel pilings and that's inside those cement. I guess they're cement structures in some of those restrooms.
I'm all for replacing bathrooms, but $225,000 for a concrete box.
That's why, because they're
It's
so
insane.
expensive. These are the set in place.
You can buy a house in some of these neighborhoods for $225,000. This is absolutely ludicrous. That there's got to be a better way.
Right.
Well, the
Has to
actual
be.
structure is $165,000, and that is for what's called a 2-2. So it's 2 stalls and 2 stalls, and that's about. These are some of the
can
least
buy a
expensive you can
house.
find.
I
In
know.
a town with
Especially
AC and
you're not even
fixtures.
replacing the concrete.
Yeah, this is unacceptable. It's not feasible to. There has to be a better way. Has to be. There's no way that you could build a cinder block bathroom with 2 stalls and plumbing for a heck of a lot less than $160,000.
And that's something that is something we can look into, and I can go and get it priced to see what we could do to do that. I know some of the cities have gone that way. I think Austin did 1 or 2 of them that they went through that we just saw at Traps this last year. It was kind of very decorative, and San Antonio did one as well. I don't know what it cost them, but I can find out from them how much they paid for it.
There has to be something better that cut this in half, and then we can move up some of the other things, the playgrounds and such, to a sooner time frame in the capital improvement plan to bring greater amenities at a faster timeline. But yes, we need new bathrooms, but this is just not a realistic number.
I have.
When people are buying houses, an entire house for that.
And the only reason I know how crazy expensive some of these restrooms are is because I was involved and listened to a lot of the bids that came in for stadium bathrooms, like at school districts. And I was blown over when they would come in with $1 million value. And I'm like, you're like, how is that bathroom in that, is that little concession stand area that much? So, but we will explore and
We
try to
explore
find
it.
other.
But this is the difference between government and private enterprise. Private enterprise never in a million years would spend this much money. Never in a million years. But government, school district, city, county, state, federal, it does it all day long. We shouldn't
Yeah.
accept that.
That's hence why I'm having a company named Garland to come in and explore these. They're down here. They're the ones that help do all the weatherproofing out here, like with this building, and have them come in and look at these structures here to see what other kind of rehab options we have, because they're so solid. And that's where I was going with some of the questions.
That'd be wonderful.
It's just see
Yeah.
if there's a way to do a rehab on these things because they're so solid in general how they're standing.
And when we
They
bought,
just-
these were installed in 09 or 10, and these were 45,000 at that time. And it's just it's a 1-1. So it's just one stall in each side. So, I mean, they haven't gone up that much, but they've gone up.
Just look at that metal toilet sticking out of the wall over there. I mean, that thing.
You think it'd be gold for 225,000?
For real. Is this something that we can check with when we go to TML and talk to other people and go into the?
Yeah, I've talked about, there's probably 3 companies out there that do these type restrooms. And so I've talked to all 3 of them because we have good relationships with them. And this is about the going rate for all of them. Just depends on what kind of amenities. And this is for something that's down here in the corner that's got nice little, it has a water fountain included. It has like a little patio shade cover on the outside of it instead of looking like a stark restroom. So and there are other different models you can get a little bit cheaper. We wanted to make it a little bit more upgraded since it is at Amistad, and that is a big, when I left there today, there's probably about 60 kids sitting out there playing on that splash pad, and they're all waiting out there to go to those bathrooms.
We need something better.
Yeah.
But at a more realistic price.
More interested in function than form.
Yeah.
What it looks
Yeah.
like is
And,
functional.
we appreciate you and all your hard work in presenting this to us, but you have to look at it from our point of view as well. I mean, we're looking at $500,000 here for
3 bathrooms.
not a lot. So
And we certainly look into self-built, and sometimes it's the same. It's not much cheaper from what some of the cities have said. It's not much cheaper to go ahead and just, depending on what materials we're going in with, but we can look at it and price it out and see what we can do.
and the pavilion's the same way.
What if can we open it up to local contractors and just say, commercial contractors and just say, what ideas do you have around this and what, what avenue can we go for the most economic price
We
that's
can.
going to go
We
the
can.
We've done
the
that
long
with
haul?
a few things at 16th Street.
As a curious question, oh, I'm sorry, were you finished?
I think that would offer a win-win,
Yeah.
so to speak, because
Yeah.
we can keep it local, and then if there's a way to, these guys can be pretty creative sometimes around structure.
The one at Hardeman Park, how long has that one been out there?
I think it's 2 years now. Oh no, Sean put it in 23, so it's been out there almost 3 years.
And how is it holding up?
It's holding up. We've had to do some work on it, especially with the we've had plumbing issues with it. But the outside of it's done a little bit better than some of the others that we've gotten.
Yeah, just the difference in price. Wondering, it should be holding up really well. For the
And
price.
we put one in at Duncan that cost us $80,000, and we've had issues with it, and that was in 2016, and we've had some issues with it, with things settling, not sitting right.
That makes me think we should just build
Yeah.
something on site, not something that is set down on. Yeah.
We can, I can look into
They're
that,
all
and
having
we can go
issues.
find some pricing on that as well.
Thanks, though, Kelly, for
Yeah, thank
all the
you.
homework you're doing, because it's a
were-
lot of holes to go down and look.
And I know at one time they were about the same cost, and so over the last couple of years they may have gone up and down on them. Building improvement. This is the sports complex roof. That will be the $250,000 to make it waterproof. When they did the drone, there are bullet holes in the roof. Is what they found out. It's kind of like what you told us, like bullet holes. Okay. But they did some,
How's the structure? I think we had some structural issues with this.
the purlins, and that's what they're going to go in and address and during this process.
Okay.
The roof and the purlins on it to make them more structural.
So that costs.
And that's actually coming to council pretty soon. It's gonna be a project that probably crosses fiscal years, but we're gonna have the price of what's gonna cost to fix this. We have the bids all coming in, I think, next week. So it's gonna be one of those projects that crosses.
So that includes the structure and everything. Is that right?
So any structural repairs, any weatherizing, any holes in that, and any replacement of any metal.
That makes more sense to me. And that's the same price as a 30 by 30 pavilion for the entertainment for a band. Same price. Okay.
Going on to park lighting, this is actually, this one up here is the light that we did install at Liberty. It is solar. The one in the other corner is just an example of what we could put in at other parks. So we're looking at Latoul to finish out around the rest of the park out there, the Southern Pacific Trailway and various parks. So we have lighting on them. It would be a mix of solar and hardwired. Where we could put solar, we would put solar lighting. All of these would be in conjunction, they'd be in addition to what we call dark sky protocols. So the light would not spill out. It's more safer for the environment. It's a little bit more economically friendly in the long run, and it's best like for birds. They don't get, they're not woken up all night, so they're not confused. Since we are the birding capital, it's one thing that we do want to keep in control with, that we are doing this. We do, and every light that we put in has been dark sky protocols. This is for, and this year, the field lights for the football multi-purpose field. The site, we will be discussing that location tonight in council meeting of where this is going to go. The estimate's $145,000. Unfortunately, we can't do solar lights for field lightings. We don't have enough. It doesn't have enough power for this, and this should be funded as a grant.
It's a donation.
As a donation, and that will be announced later on of who's going to do that. So, on it. In 29 and 30, doing lights, and this may end up moving somewhere else depending on where we do with this combined sports complex, or if we do, for this, to redo the field lights at Joe Davis, the Little League fields, girls softball, and the sports complex.
So these are just put way out there in the 5-year plan just to keep it on the radar, just so we know there's lighting things, some big lighting projects down the road. And it all depends on, let's get back the information from the Parks Master Plan. Let's make a determination if there's going to be a sports complex at a particular location or not, and if so, what
it's going to look like,
what it's going to look like and feel. And so it's just kind of a placeholder out there, just so it stays on a horizon to talk about.
Mm-hmm. That's $500,000 for each field.
For each complex.
But we are fixing them as they go out.
We are.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We do have all that money in place right now just to take care of, keep the lights going.
And we did get some quotes, like to redo the ones out, the softball fields out at the sports complex. And when we did, we were talking about shared poles between fields in any way that we could be economic and save funding, or even phasing it in over time. So that's where some of these, and they're pretty good numbers on doing all the lighting. On to Riverside Park. As you can see, this is where a bulkhead used to be pre-Harvey. For that, another bulkhead was put in on the other side, but this is where we do want to go ahead and push it off to 27 and 28. As you can see, you've got a good view. We did get a drone this year, so we have some good aerial views. You can see part of the boat ramp actually has collapsed since we flipped it back over. And looking at that for it, so it will be $15,000 for the engineering grant this year, and next year's budget we'll be able to apply again. Like I said, February 1st is the cutoff date, and then go for the actual construction grant in the next budget year. And on to aquatics. The demolition of 16th Street Pool or Valiant. The estimate that we got a couple years ago was $140,000 on it. This is pictures from last year, and I do know these have gotten much worse. And I went to look, the red iron structure that is in it, it's now sitting on top of it. Before, just about 2 years ago, it was probably about a half inch. Now it's actually sitting on top of it. So we're actually losing more structural integrity for at least the pump room, and then the rest of the building is starting to decay even more. For the Aquatic Center, beginning in 2028, the city will start their contribution over 10 years of the $3 million. The first year, I believe, is $400,000, and it goes down. It's partnering with the Community Development Corp and the county, and construction should begin this year. Some other projects that we'd like to consider: doing more playgrounds and swings throughout the parks. We do have a couple parks that are utilized heavily that don't either have swings or have playgrounds that we'd like to put out. The future of Valiant Park, where 16th is now, when I talked to Texas Parks and Wildlife, because the pool has gone past its useful life of 40 years, we are good to demo it. We just have to notify Texas Parks and Wildlife. So when we go to do that, we'll do the notification, but they do want to see something that we're putting into place to keep that as public recreation. So that's one of the things of future use, and that could be determined in the Parks Master Plan coming up. We can put that into that. Park improvements at City Field, where the existing BMX bike park is. At Duncan Park, some of the projects out there.
I'm sorry. I thought someone else was taking over the City Field, the BMX thing. Am I?
Talking about the gas company. We have had conversations because we have an interlocal agreement that they would take care of the trail.
The park itself.
But we did talk to them I think just today.
Mm-hmm.
And they are looking to do something different because the trails aren't really being utilized a lot out there in the hills, and to maintain it, they're just not able to go out there and keep up and maintain those trails. So we will have to, we'd like to have some, public input and figure out what a reuse is, but they're going to pick up those.
They're going to pick up the railroad ties. We're going to knock down all the hills and just maintain at this time just a walking path around the outside of the park,
so
and go back to grass.
Trail park is basically done.
It's going to be.
It's done.
For us, it was a good idea. For about 6 months to a year, we had a lot of people out there, and just over the last couple years, it's just kind of faded out. We may have 1 or 2 people go out there a week to utilize it, and that's it. So just something that we're looking at.
There's some other issues out there too.
Yeah.
It was just a field before that.
It originally was a baseball field.
So when did it turn into City Field?
It's always been named City Field.
Is that okay?
Mm-hmm. Like I said, park improvements at Duncan Park, just adding any more amenities over there and getting some input from the community on what they want. Riverside Park, looking at any amenities that we can add, either cabins or anything like that, or even maybe purchasing. I know LCRA's purchased some Airstreams that they rent out to add to that to bring more people in. The recreation center and the sports complex relocation. This is a list of potential grant funding that we've gone through that we're looking at for all things. Anytime one comes across my desk, I research it, see if we can get to it. These are some of the ones that we can apply for. Some of them are just $50,000, some are $10,000. Texas Parks and Wildlife can be up to $750,000. So there are a wide range of, some are fully funded and some are matching grants. So these are some of the ones we're looking at, and I know there's a few more out there that we're going to look into.
When you apply for grants, who does the bulk of that work? Are you the one writing the grants, or do we have somebody else that supports that?
I am actually writing the Texas Parks and Wildlife one and the one for LCRA.
Okay.
And then I'll go send it over to Gabriel and let him review it before I send it out and make sure that I've got everything covered. And
Kelly's been very successful in a lot of the grant writing. It's some of the one that's very hard, and we've had other people help. It's that one for the trails to lead us off to the the hike and bike trail to get us back all the way to back behind the aquatic center. That's been really kind of hard to figure out what we're needing to get that accomplished. And so we've used 2 different companies or grant writers on that so far. In budget, we are discussing, it came up as strategic planning but we were talking about having someone and see if there's a good return on investment of just concentrating on a lot of the grants. It's a lot of low hanging fruit, a lot of staff time. It may be beneficial to combine it with another duties and function of the city, but it's something that is open for discussion during this budget process. I don't know if that's where you were going, but
Yes.
it is something that was brought up in strategic planning.
Okay. Thank you.
And sometimes we can be more successful writing them through the department because we have a passion for it. Whereas a grant writer might not have the same passion that I have for trails and parks and recreation. That's how we got the grant for seniors for the Walk with Ease, because we wrote it that this is something we needed for our community. So we have that passion for it that kind of sometimes really conveys through it, where someone who's a grant writer may not have that same passion on it. These are just some non-capital M&O projects that we're looking at for this next year. Latola Park, we did do some replacement on that dock. We'd like to expand it. Dredging the lake so we can bring it back into Texas Parks and Wildlife standards so they can actually stock it throughout the year. At the end of the lake to help for when it floods out there, the nuisance flow culvert that's over by the golf course, so it flows out of the park better than what it does right now, because a lot of times right now it just stands there, and when it's flooded like it is now, we have water there for 2 or 3 weeks. When it's dry, we may not have water. So something a little bit better there. Looking at the train depot and the caboose, doing some interpretive signage out there to tell people about the train depot and the caboose, how we got it, how it was installed. Some acoustical tiles, doing landscaping. At the USO, working on the interior and the exterior just to make it a little bit more appealing for people to come rent. Doing interpretive signage there as well to let people know about the USO, landscaping. Merriweather's Park, looking to resurface that tennis court, adding a pickleball court since the 3 courts that we have currently are overrun almost every night out there. Redoing that sand volleyball court. I don't know if anybody went by on Saturday over there, but it was covered all day long.
Yeah.
So we do need to really do some concentrating on that and looking at the lights over there to get those lights working on a more regular basis. The parks office, looking at some office security. We do have some doors that don't shut all the way sometimes. Electronic gate for our yard. Our storage building roof is leaking. We'd like to paint our interior offices and then actually paint our buildings, because the paint it's just peeling off everywhere. And this is all to make our city look better. Riverside Park, looking at the ranger station, doing the doors, doing some access to the doors so the laundry room can stay open at night when the office is not when the office is not open, and still keep our office security. The restrooms, just doing some painting, updating of the fixtures. The slough, looking to dredge it so we can keep water a little bit more in it. And the culvert under that road we know has collapsed, just make an assessment of it and what we need to do to repair it. And aquatics, the Hilliard filter replacement. The last time we did anything on the filtration system itself, we've added chemical systems in there. We've done some minor work in replacement. This would be going and replacing a lot of the flanges, the valves, and everything else that has not been touched since 1999. And those are starting to rust and just fall apart. To replace it is almost as much as it is just to repair it. It's about $5,000 to $6,000 less to repair it than to replace it, but there may be other issues if we go in and repair instead of replace. At all of our parks, we're looking at new signage. I am working on a signage policy, our lighting policy on it, landscaping and painting of our buildings just to make everything look nicer and give everything a nice fresh coat paint. Because some of our buildings are just kind of looking very old, weather beaten for it.
Hey Kelly, on Riverside, how are we, I'm sorry, here's your question.
Okay.
How are we doing with the Wi-Fi and phone signals out there?
Robert would have a better, easier time if it would stop raining. Every time he's dug a hole, it's rained and he has to retake it. So hopefully this week. We are renting a Mini X this week. We'll probably have it for a month to actually dredge the boat ramp again and to dig that hole back out. So hopefully, we do have Wi-Fi almost to the first couple of campsites in the Colorado Cove and down to the day use area. So we did have some extender that we worked with IT to get a little bit further out, but this will move it all the way down throughout the Colorado Cove through the full hookup area.
So I have a few questions.
Yeah.
Mary Withers Park, so you're gonna resurface that, and that's gonna be a pickleball court in the future?
We're gonna look to do maybe one half of it pickleball, and we can put 2 courts on one side and then leave the other half as a tennis court.
When is the projected timeline to get started on that?
I'm gonna start working on getting the pricing on it this year,
Okay.
and hopefully get it into next year.
So, okay, very
Mm-hmm.
good.
And we have actually talked about moving some pickleball courts out to the sports complex once we get that roof redone too.
That's my next question, yes. Okay, so that's
We're looking
still
at
gonna
that as
happen.
well.
So how many pickleball courts will that give us?
We can put 4 or 5 out at the sports complex, just depending on how much we take up of the basketball court. If we make it a half court, I think we can put probably 4, and then 2 at Merriweather, so we'd have probably almost 10, close to it.
Which is good, but I don't hear people talking about it as much as they used to. I mean, is it still as big as it was?
Constantly, that's why I asked, somebody asked me the other day, said we need more pickleball courts.
Really? Okay.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I've had people
yes.
Well, that's good.
Bring it
I
up.
just
It's
A lot of people
gotten
request the shaded ones.
much bigger.
Yeah, a lot of them are actually wanting covered. There's a new sport coming up called paddle, which is a mix of pickleball and handball, or wall ball. And so that's becoming very popular now on the East Coast and the West Coast. And so it is moving here. So we're looking at where something we could put that at on that. So that's one of those new things that's coming out that's trending. It's becoming just as popular because you can play it by yourself instead of have a partner like you do with pickleball. But we do have those pickleball courts have been reserved, quite a few over the last 6 months. They're more and more getting reserved almost every night.
It's an outdoor sport also.
It can be indoor. You can do pickleball indoor
Either-
too. You
well-
can do it indoor, outdoor.
The new one coming, though. What is it?
Paddle, it's both indoor and
Paddle.
outdoor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does anybody play tennis at Merriweather's? I never see anybody playing tennis there. Could we?
You can't. I think it's in such bad shape, you can't.
The concrete's very thin, and we may have to, and we're gonna have to assess that. The concrete's not really thick. It's probably maybe about half inch, maybe.
So a lot of that really you couldn't even do pickleball on top of without doing some major improvements.
We have to do
So,
some, yes.
My question is, if you could do pickleball at the sports complex or somewhere else, we clearly have a need for more sand volleyball, and people congregate there, and that place is packed all the time. Should we make that our dedicated sand volleyball place, Merriweather's Park, and bust up that concrete and not have pickleball there, have pickleball elsewhere if you're going to have to go through the effort of laying new concrete.
And that's one of the things I'd like to look for when we do this master plan is to get the input of what everybody wants. Is that a great location for sand volleyball? Do we need to move it somewhere else? And have those questions answered in the master plan so we can go forward with, this is a good location for it. You know, there's a lot of issues with parking over at Merriweather's. And so that's one of the big parking issues. And if they're using, the USO gets rented a little bit more than it has been. So if there's something going on over there and the use of it, that is there somewhere else that we have in our arsenal of where we could it go out at where 16th is currently. So looking at that and having the master plan address that for us instead of us making a best estimate and saying, okay, this is where we go, and then not having it utilized.
Is part of that conversation with the pickleball and those different pieces, are you taking into consideration the tennis courts that are there by 16th Street? I think those are owned by the school district, but are you having conversations with the school district of, do you want them, or is that something that we can utilize to add pickleball? Because my understanding is the school district would like to do anything they can to increase revenue or reduce their burden from an operational standpoint. So perhaps there's an opportunity for partnership there.
And yeah, I've thought if we could, that whole end of the block could make a nice big park that we could add some way more amenities to it. We just have a small pocket park in that side over at Highland. It's got a playground and that's about it. And we can't fit much more over there. But if we had on either side of that property to make one big park on the end of that block, that we could do a lot more with that facility. Then if we've got the concrete there already, that saves us money for having to go in and put new concrete for a pavilion or anything like that. And then sometimes the ISD says we own them, and according to Matagorda CAD, they own them.
Yeah.
So
You didn't mention anything about Fromm Park. Is that because you're going to talk about it at 6 o'clock? Okay.
Yes, sir.
But we can talk about anything. that
Anything you
wanna
want to talk about, we can
here.
talk about it.
Well, I don't want to reiterate it twice.
Yeah, that's a conversation that's on the agenda for tonight. Hmm.
Kelly, that land bridge at Latour, is that a natural or is that man-made?
Man-made.
It's man-made. Is there, does the water flow underneath there?
There's a culvert, and I believe the culvert has collapsed. I can't get underneath there to look. Even when the water gets down low, you can't get into it because it's just muck. It's either collapsed or just completely silted in. And that's why we just want to go ahead and take it over and actually make it a pedestrian only, for safety of our people that walk out there, because we've got walkers almost every day, to keep that safety with them, and just make it one big lake, and that maybe we could have some other amenities out there and make that lake a little bit better and bigger.
Something I'd like to just put a bug in your ear about, and I think at one point you and I talked about the Adopt a Park concept. That's something I'd really like to see us explore or put on the plan at some point to see if there's interest in that from a community perspective. I think we might be surprised how much participation there might be in something.
It's one of my items to do after I get done with the master plan.
Yeah.
So I have a big long to-do list, and that's one of the items to check off of.
One more thing to add.
It comes through it'll also come through Keep Bay City Beautiful as part of that program to do.
Okay.
And as we get some more, hopefully, people on that committee, that we can go into Adopt a Spot and Adopt a Park programs.
Yeah, good deal.
Any more questions for Kelly?
The parks board, I can't think of what you call them anymore.
The advisory board.
Advisory board. How is that going?
It's going pretty good. We've had a couple of meetings. We'll have another one in September, since summer's very hard for them to get together. But they did. We went through all the capital items, and they had some input on it. Hopefully, we're just starting out, so we're getting our feet under our feet again. They've had some good input on it, and hopefully we'll have them have more input on what we're doing. And we ran all of our events by them, and like I said, what we're doing here with capital projects, and they were in agreement with a lot of what we're doing, and kind of waiting to see what happens with the Parks Master Plan to see where we go from there. The last input session, we had one in 2017, which we had a good turnout for. The one in 21 for the 22 plan, we didn't have as good a turnout for it. So I'm hoping with this, with having a communications department in the newsletter, that we can get this out and drive it home even more to get better input. It's a long span, and we've had a lot of changeover and new homes and everything else coming into the city, that we do need get some better input, and hopefully we can get, I think we got 1,700 respondents the first time, which is really good for a town of our size. I'd like to see if we can get 2,000 to 2,500 at least, to get a better sampling of what everybody wants.
Okay. So you're seeing pretty good participation from the youth groups?
We do have our youth council, and we're about to start that program up this year, this next couple of months. We're in the process of that right now. So hopefully we'll get the kids involved in it.
How many kids are you taking in that? You know?
We're looking at about 15.
Oh, 15.
We have 9 applicants right now.
And they
Was
have
excited.
until when to sign up?
June 15th.
Any more questions for Kelly? Great
Big-
job. Thank you.
Yeah, great job, Kelly.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
A lot of work went into that.
I took a lot of notes and took a lot of points taken from really looking to find better ways of rehabbing some of the facilities we have, make them look nice without necessarily going new. We will have TML coming up in November, so we'll look at some different vendors there as well. We will get that windstorm question answered again, but again, we will look into that. For the main thing on some of the restrooms that we've seen, just for the safety of the kiddos, I just really want to figure out what I can do to help cover up some of the rust that I'm seeing when they're going in there, especially over by, well, both places, but we have a lot of the kids wet over at the where the splash pad is, and so they're running in and out, and that's one of the ones we saw one of the pictures of. So that's why I'm urgently trying to figure out what's some other ways, get somebody over there and figure out what we can do to take care of that. That's more of an operational thing that we can take care of quickly. Heard a lot of the good information coming in about the pickleball, how we can repurpose some of the tennis courts. I've seen some of these things when I was in Coeur d'Alene recently. I went and saw a big center park where you had the tennis courts with I think the pickleball was also where you could use it as that. Then they had all the basketball, but it was just one big area where everybody was just doing all kinds of neat different things. And it made me go, okay, we're in the middle of comp planning and we're in the middle of the parks master plan all at the same time. And we have a big, also the North Downtown plan, you know, which also gets real close to where the old high school was, and where we have the 16th Street pool. So there's a lot of things between the comp plan, the parks master plan coming in together and linking in and helping us with a lot of public input opportunities here to help us decide where some of those really cool things for bringing people together to do, you know, what kind of amenities we want in certain space. And so that's all about land use plan and where we want to put certain things. So I think we're at a really cool time with all the plans coming together and get some opportunities for more public input. The other one that I'm excited about too is we haven't accomplished yet, but we do have some TERS money that can help us to spirit off and get excitement. But having that aquatic center necessarily going in behind the civic center, and we haven't done that application with that amenity there yet. And so the whole key, a lot of those grants is getting points of interest together, points of interest where you're connecting the dots, but also getting places where the hike and bike trails lit up, having them run from certain areas and connecting the town. So that could be probably a more competitive, knowing that might be back there to apply for that grant after that is going up. So that's going to be a neat area that's real close to everything in our North Downtown.
And you mentioned TERS 5. We're planning on moving forward on that sometime soon. CDC is, I know we participated, the CDC previously participated in being able to bring it around to the different organizations and so forth.
Yes, we thank you for that. We have the interlocal agreements all put together. We just need to get in front of the participating entities and ask for their participation in the TERS 5. And that is the big non-contiguous TERS that we have that's going to help with a lot of redevelopment of our city.
Yep. Yeah, as CDC, we'd like to offer our help in making that happen.
Great. Good.
Yeah, and we still have that property out in Palm Village area near the wastewater treatment plant. I forget how many acres
We
are
do.
out there.
33?
33 acres we have out there. So
40.
keep
Okay,
that in
33.
mind. When you brought up the volleyball, that could be a good place because volleyball is not real loud.
No.
And you could have volleyball courts out there and you'd have enough room for parking because it's kind of in just off of a residential area. So just something to keep in mind. And then I know we've discussed that property across the street from where the aquatic center is going in, that bar that's out there, that's an eyesore. So we need to keep that on our radar and figure out what we're going to do with that.
Across from where?
Where the aquatic center is going in on 12th Street.
Uh-huh.
At 12th Street.
Oh, I see.
Springs?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's
But we don't own that, do we?
We don't. It's an eyesore, but we may have to spend the money, but that could be a good parking space for the aquatic center. This is directly across the street. And we'd be able to clean that area up. I'm just throwing ideas out. That's
Sure,
all.
this is what it's for. This is all about ideas, throwing it out there, talking about it, getting it on paper, and it's very good. Anything else?
Thank you. Okay.
That should be like a substandard building, huh? Pretty much.
I think that's outside it's in our ETJ though.
Just getting it out there.
I got you. Okay.
Item 2, update on the aquatic center. Is that going to be you or Melanie?
Melanie will go ahead and do the presentation, but I'm available for any questions.
Okay.
Good afternoon. First, I want to start with a huge thank you to the mayor and to each council member for your patience, your support, and your belief in this vision and helping us make it become a reality for our community. As you can see from our first slide here, Unless we get a naming entity that wants to come in and be a huge supporter for us, we have chosen a name of the Aquatic Center of Matagorda County. We want to be able to focus to everybody that this is open for everybody. This is for Matagorda County. The county's supporting us in this, and everybody in the county will be able to use it. But most importantly, for our city of Bay City, with where it's going to be located, all the tax dollars, when these people are coming in to use this aquatic center from Palacios, from outside of the county, they're going to be bringing the tax dollars in to Bay City for the restaurants and shopping. So we're super excited of how this will be able to benefit us in so many ways. This is kind of a sample of what our contractors have given us is what it's going to look like. You can barely see it off on the edge of this, but there are the garage style roll-up doors that will be along both sides of the aquatic center to where they can open it up for open air, or it will be able to be closed for bad weather and for the cold days. We want it to be our premier water destination.
That's the actual look of it that y'all are going with. The
Oops,
front.
it's not letting me go back.
That's what they designed?
There we go. That is what they
came
designed,
directly
yes.
From the architect.
It's not letting me go back.
I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
the
sorry. I was
garage,
just wondering if that was just like a generic thing or that's the real.
that's the one
That's
from
it.
the architect.
Okay,
That is it.
I see.
So, but with that, you mentioned the garage doors. It's the whole south side and the whole north side are all garage doors.
Right, okay.
So the prevailing wind coming out of the south, you can just open it up and
Thank you.
keep it cool.
Yes,
Is that your truck parked over there in the corner?
it is. Yeah, they did it just for him.
Nice.
So
Didn't interrupt, I apologize.
that's okay. It is going to have an 8-lane Olympic size pool inside that will be UIL certified. To where we can host the meets. YMCA, the schools will be able to host the meets there. It will go from 4 to 6 feet. The diving boards, of course, will be, or not diving boards, the diving platforms. I'm not a swimmer, so I don't know whatever they're called. They're blocks. They're starting blocks. There you go. Will be on one side, on the 6-foot side, of course, but there will be the other side of it. We have asked for it to be 4 feet, which is still in the USA Swim allowances, but to where people don't have to be trying to swim the whole time in there, and they can touch on that 4-foot side. There's going to be the outdoor water park that'll have a walk-in pool, 2 slides. Eventually, we're hoping for a splash pad. That may not be on there at first due to funding issues, but we are trying to do a campaign to make that happen from the start. There will be a party room and recreational areas and some very nice bathrooms. We'll have lots of bathrooms there. Talking about bathrooms. YMCA will be able to have education spaces there. There will be a party room to where they can bring in some revenue with having birthday parties and all that. And I mean, I know I've had so many people, I've had 3 people recently in the past couple of weeks who I've seen have gone to El Campo Aquatic Center to do a birthday party there. And they don't have a party room. They're sitting on benches outside of the pool area and having their party. So I'm super excited that they'll have an actual party room, that they'll be able to host parties there.
Can you go back one slide? You mentioned bathrooms. So inside the main building, as you see it over here, there's 2 locker rooms and bathrooms over here. But if you see all the way to the very far end where the truck is at, there's also 2 bathrooms in that, which is basically set up for the outdoor facility.
Yes.
So there'll be indoor and outdoor availability.
Yes. So again,
Melanie,
it's
is there a concession stand in here?
No.
That's what we need to do with the property across the street. Restaurant. I got a
Turn that into a
plan.
concession stand.
well, I'm even thinking, in my little agenda plans of stuff I would like to do is trying to find somebody to come in and open that Dairy Queen back up over there too.
Yeah,
since that is shut down. I think that would be an awesome opportunity for somebody to have something
agree with
right
that.
there too.
We actually went to the Y and discussed the concession stand, whether or not we should have
Freddy's
one, and
custard?
their preference was.
Hey, I'd take a Freddy's custard
And
too.
since we
Hamburger.
didn't
I
have a
love
good
some
space
Freddy's.
for it, we made it a party room.
So again, we kind of have where you can see the garage doors opening up to where they'll be able to see from the competition indoor pool to the outside play area. Slides, it will have 2 slides on there that'll both be on the outdoor part. And the whole outdoor water park, you can see kind of what the vision is with that. We are in the talks. We wanted the lesson pool. Unfortunately, due to cost restraints, we had to take the lesson pool out of being indoors. And we would love to be able to have the funds raised from this capital campaign that we're currently working on, I'll tell you about that in a minute, to having a smaller lesson pool outside. And if we did that, it would be kind of on the backside, like where you see the scoreboard in that first picture, it would be right outside of that to where they could warm up there before coming into the indoor competition pool.
And before you go on, so on the right-hand side one, it's
Bleachers.
turned to make it a good picture and so forth, but just to let you know, the front of it is not facing the pool. It's actually turned 90 degrees. So the west side is actually the front of it. And then the pool was also flipped. So on the side with the cars is where the actual
Front of the building.
water slides would be. So there's several, and it goes away from the building as it gets towards the deeper end. And then there's a what did they call it? It's got a rope going across it, and then some like lily pads.
Like a
that they can-
ninja course type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How big is the parking lot going to be?
So it was actually fairly large. To reduce costs, we have reduced several of that. I can get you an actual picture of what it's being reduced to. Probably about 100 spaces. It was probably 150, 170, somewhere up in there, and we reduced it down. But we've left an area of green space that can become parking lot should we need it in the future.
Like
There's also the
buses
thought
and,
of using Civic Center parking is
Correct.
needed as well.
buses and stuff?
I'm sorry?
There'll be room for buses?
Yes. So there's 4 entrances in all truth. So there's one on the west side. If you come in from the Civic Center, on the west side of it, as you go towards the back, you'd be able to come in straight there and come in. On the east side of it, you'd be able to come in, and then from 12th Street, we're looking at a road coming in, and it'll come to both sides of it. So the fire trucks or any of the heavy equipment, things like that, would be able to come in from the east side and go all the way around and come out 12th Street. So it'd be pretty much a straight run coming around for, again, just for fire and safety.
And something they did not have in there at first, you can barely see on the edge of this first picture here, is bleachers. They did not have bleachers in there at first. They will be ones that will pull out and then push back up. That way it's not blocking the doors, but to where there is plenty of seating, especially for these competitions coming in.
Since the mayor's so good at the Easter events and 4th of July with the kids, can we reserve the first person going down to be the mayor on that thrilling slide?
Down the slide.
That's a great idea.
Absolutely.
I like it.
Gonna cost.
Right here.
He was the first one
Do
to
what?
do the BMX bike
So we
track
might as
there.
well continue this trend.
There you go. It's a tradition.
What's the question, Scotty?
What that is,
Victim of
Oh,
my own success.
That's the enclosed. No, that's the enclosed garbage.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
It doesn't really show well, but we have to have an enclosed garbage area with doors on it.
So again, and it says the 2 main pools, the indoor and outdoor. The water slides, the rec areas, the kids' cove. Again, the splash pad will be something that we could add later unless our capital campaign goes really well. Then we could have that from the start. You can see on here where the location is, where he's talking about the 12th Street entrances. It's going to be directly behind the Civic Center. And thank
and
you
the
to the
green-
city
and the
for
green
making that
space.
land available for us too.
And I'm sorry, the green space is that parking, some of the parking that was taken out. So that could be added back if we needed it.
So the funding partners here, YMCA, Matagorda County, City of Bay City, and Bay City CDC. With that being said, our quote, we don't have a 100% quote yet. We are looking, the quote we've gotten so far, is it good to mention? Okay, I wasn't sure. It's coming in a little bit over 17 million. Our funding that we are getting, and taking part of it out, making the building smaller, we got down to 235.
16.2, yeah.
16.2, okay. 16.2, I was thinking it was 16.5. 16.2, but then we still have to pay for the road and pay the,
Well, that was including the road, the.
Oh, that's right, it is
owners-
16.2,
Yeah,
yes.
owner's construction, and, so there was $1 million in those three things.
so we are.
15.2 for the aquatic center, sorry.
Yes, that's okay. So our financing that we were approved for is for 14 million. So we are trying to raise that last 2.2 million. We've hired Denny Spheris, Capital Campaign Company, and they are reaching out to a lot of foundations, a lot of larger corporations, and also they're typing up a nice little letter that I'll be sending out to businesses, and we're going to do a naming wall. On top of, if somebody would like to have the naming opportunities of the aquatic center, of the small pool, of the splash pad, there's a lot of different naming opportunities. Of the party room, I think the party room we've got for 50,000, they can have the party room named after them. So there's a lot of different opportunities there. And then I'm getting price quotes for an actual metal wall. Memorial Park in Houston has this, and every donor of a certain amount and above is listed. It doesn't have the amount they gave, but their name is bigger or smaller depending on how much they gave. And so we're going to do a wall somewhere too that will have all these donors to where we can get this last 2.2 million that we need to make this happen. Our groundbreaking, we were thinking was going to be later on this month, but we're going to push it to July because we do have to have some signatures from the city on a couple things. So we'll be pushing that back to July, but we definitely will keep y'all informed and get with you, Scotty, and see when a good time would be for y'all to where we can get everybody together to be there for our groundbreaking.
Okay.
We're thinking the end of July, like 22nd-ish, 24th, somewhere in that area.
Right.
Any questions?
I don't have any better questions for Melanie.
Thank you for being here. I
No
thought it'd be a great idea to have an update on while we're doing the park planning and all that.
Absolutely.
It was part of our capital planning. So
Can you go one back? Because
Oh.
that's kind of the layout.
Oh yeah,
of
I didn't go there with that. I just kind of said that. So yes, the naming rights, corporate sponsorships, and then the capital campaign donations and naming and stuff.
But this does have a better layout of what the pool's going to look like, what the water slides are going to look like, how the garage doors are going across the south side. And then you'll see on the west side where the walk-up is, that's the front of the building that we were looking at earlier.
what's the visual if you're driving down 35? What's that visual going to be? What are people going to see if there are visitors coming through? I was just wondering.
I'm not sure.
Part of that hotel in front.
Yeah.
Foot massage.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much of it they'll see. They'll probably see the water slide sticking up.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering if it was high enough that you would.
I mean, can we have like big flagpoles or something?
I mean, we'll figure out something. I just thought,
A sign out there.
people are going through. There might we want to be able to see. Oh,
What's that? Yeah,
what's that
that's good.
over there.
Yep.
We'll figure out something. We'll have wayfinding signs that we're working on. So
That pool's going to be pretty massive, right? I mean, that's what's kind of small there. No?
The building is a little bit bigger than a convention center. So kind of put it in context of
Yeah.
that size.
Yeah. It's pretty
At the left side, the west side, the left side over there, that's the retention pond. We couldn't get away without having one.
This is the part that'll be coming in right here.
Yeah,
It's
beach
like
entrance.
a zero, what's it called, where there's no depth to it whatsoever, and it starts going in from there. Like they have it listed on here as a beach entrance.
Yeah. And then you see the four entrances, the two on the bottom and the one, the set of coming across going into 12th Street at the top. But that is a fairly good layout of what it, and you see the parking is along both sides. So I don't know if you can tell really well, but against the against the pool on the right side, away from the pool on the left side, and then the two rows below it. That's the sets of parking. But we had it all the way out where there was a third and fourth row below that we've kind of taken out just to reduce costs at this point, but can be added later.
What's the maximum capacity? Do we have one?
They have
don't know
not
if
given
I've
us that.
received it yet.
They have not given us that. So.
Hopefully enough for you to be able to go down the slide and Blaine and his big floaty floating around in the middle of this pool.
Go.
I'm in. I'm in.
There will be a lot of dirt being removed from the site. So Kelly or Herb, if y'all have places you need dirt,
Don't need dirt. Let us know. They said they're gonna be looking for places to put all the dirt. So.
What's the next slide? The next slide had the interior, right?
no, the next slide was just if you're ready to make a splash.
So you said you're not gonna build that,
This front one is not gonna be inside.
but it is a long course pool? You said Olympic size, so is there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's this back one back here will be there.
So 50 meters, not 25 yards.
I'll be honest, I don't know what the measurements, they've just told us it's an Olympic size that fits in the USA swimming standards.
So are y'all trying to host USA meets here?
So YMCA is gonna be the one running
Okay.
this for us. But I know Aquacats is interested in trying to host the meets.
And y'all have a scoreboard, which probably means you have touchpads.
No, it's over the. I'm trying to remember what it is, but it's over the.
Over the drip edge?
Yeah.
Those touchpads?
Yeah.
Do y'all have a scorer's table built somewhere? Like the people who are actually gonna run the timing?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
Well, might be something to think about. Where are they gonna sit in this whole thing? Usually you have a separate booth for those officials. 'Cause they don't get yelled at.
So they don't get yelled at.
Have they been hosting them at 16th Street Pool?
I have not seen them host a USA meet because it's only a 25-yard pool.
Okay.
So to get USA for the full season, you've got to have a 50-meter pool. Then usually what you see is a break wall, right? So a floating wall you can set out in the middle, so you can break it up into two 25-yard pools for shark course season.
Okay.
That's
Well,
where
they've
you-
talked about hosting meets. I'm not sure, and they keep checking with stuff with USA rules if stuff applies into it.
So
But
is the USA meet the same as like a high school competition meet? It's totally different?
Yeah.
It is different. Okay.
USA is kind of like select swim. So they are based in zones around,
Like older kids?
no, they start young.
You can bring 'em
USA Swim
here.
is all ages. There's three different groups. You've got USA Swim, you've got Rec League Swim, which is Aquacats, and then you have UIL, which is your high school. So you'll have three different style of competition facilities.
Melanie, is this something you can work with both of them to figure out and make
I'm
sure that we are
I'm putting
appropriately
notes over here. Yes.
Hey, the more
Address-
attraction we can get,
Yeah.
the better.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I'm putting notes over here to get that
Okay.
checked out.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, and we have had Stephanie Wirtz and Megan
Griffith.
Griffith.
Griffith from Aquacats involved. So
Stephanie's
I'm
been on
hoping
our
that these-
advisory board.
I'm hoping these things have been answered, but
You need
I
to
don't
do
know
a
the
seminar.
answer.
I can help you there.
You're hired.
That's great.
Yep. You have
Those are
volunteered.
good questions to ask. It's better to know now than,
Well, and if any, you know of any businesses that would like to be involved with our groundbreaking, we can secure those donations. We already had one, I don't want to say yet who, to the public, but we already had one local business that is doing a $50,000 donation to where they are in our groundbreaking in with us from the start. So we're super excited and thankful for that. And their question to us was, can they make it out over 5 years? Absolutely. We'll take your $10,000 a year for 5 years to make this happen. So if anybody knows of any businesses maybe that you think might be interested, please hit me up and we'll get in touch with them.
Chris, thank you for your input.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you, Molly. Good job.
Thank you.
Sorry to interrupt you half the time.
So are there any final comments from city manager? Do you have anything, Scotty, you want to add?
No, just thank you for coming and presenting to us. That was great. Great alignment with what we're doing. And anything we can do to help with any of the, I have an idea already for how to help get Sarah sponsorship stuff out. So I'll get that to you.
Okay. Council members?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Herb and Public Works. They've actually went out and cut the grass out there, started getting it ready so that when we do have groundbreaking, it's going to look very nice. Really wanted to thank them for jumping right on that and making it look good.
Anyone else?